Hi, Ellen. Dan here in Rochester, New York. I have a kind of two-part question that deals, I guess, both with the heat we've been experiencing over the past few weeks. So my first question is I've been watering about 3 times a week, and doing it, like you said, a deep watering. The thing that I'm wondering is, do you ever bump that up? In particular, the sections of my lawn that are under direct sunlight for most of the day seem to trying to be check out. But so I'm wondering, would you recommend maybe watering those spots a little bit more, more so than the ones that are in the shade a little bit? My second part of my question is I've been noticing some weeds in some of those areas as well. With the heat we've been having, I'm not confident that I should be using any sort of chemical to eliminate those weeds. Is there anything else I can do to get rid of some of those, or do I leave those for now and then worry about those when the temperatures start to come back down? All right. Love the podcast. Thank you very much. Bye.
All right, Dan, great question. So we got 2 parts here, watering. So for sure, if you are experiencing a lot of heat and things are starting to get a little bit rough in certain areas, what you want to do is continue with the watering schedule that you're on. This is assuming that it's not so hot that your grass is literally going brown. Like he's saying, it's just he notices areas that are starting to try to check out. What you want to do is go up from that 1/2 inch, go up to 3/4 inch. That's why you time the tuna can challenge at the 1/2 inch, because then you can just easily do math and realize what it would take to get 3/4 inch or 1 inch. If it takes you 20 minutes for a certain zone to get down a 1/2 inch, then you add 10 minutes to that, you should be getting 3/4 inch. So I would recommend don't add more days, just add more inches. So get down to 3/4 inch deeper watering. That should help you. Now, the other thing you can do are these daytime syringes, these daytime cooling cycles. If you have an irrigation system or you have a way to have a timer, nothing wrong with running the sprinkler for 10 or 15 minutes in the afternoon on the hottest part of the day when it's in the 90s to cool the lawn off. Golf courses do that. Again, it's called syringing. You can look it up. Won't hurt anything. I always have to constantly say this. There's a rumor out there that your lawn will burn if you water it in the middle of the day. That is absolutely false. You guys have all had pop-up thunderstorms hit your lawn on a 90-degree day, and your lawn didn't burn. It happens every day here in Florida. In fact, it's about to happen now. And we never have burned lawns. So definitely work on some cooling in the afternoon. But yeah, for sure, man, if you got areas that are just starting to check out a little bit, go a little bit deeper, Dan, and you'd be all right. Now, weeds. Let's talk about weeds. I know that I scare you guys a lot because I tell you in general, you shouldn't spray weeds when it's over 85 degrees. The reason I do that is because so many weed controls have an 85-degree temperature restriction on them, and I know that most people don't read labels. So I just say to be safe, just don't spray weeds when it's over 85. By the way, even weed controls that don't have an 85-degree temperature restriction on them, the lawn can still be harmed. There can still be some harm that can come to the lawn. It can still have some damage occur. So that's one of those things you want to think about. However, there are some weed controls you can spray in the summer, but I'm going to say before I go into those and give you those names, I recommend in the summer that you only spot spray. And this is cool season and warm season. I'm going to talk to both of you. Just spot spray. Don't let the summertime be a big weed control time. Do that in the spring and the fall. Just spot spray in the summer. Now, if you're getting crabgrass, you might have to do some pretty heavy shots. But again, still spot or zone spray. So for cool season lawns, if you want to spray something in the summer that does not have an 85-degree temperature recommendation on it, you want to get something that has 2,4-D dicamba and quinclorac in it. 2 brand names would be Quincept. That's what I used when I worked for True Green. Or another one would be Triad, is kind of the generic. These are fairly affordable for homeowners. You can Google them. Quincept or Triad, 2,4-D dicamba, quinclorac. The 2,4-D and the dicamba, those are going to kill most of your broadleaf weeds. They're going to do pretty well on clover. Not going to do so well on the ground ivy and the violet, but they will damage them a little bit through the summer until you can get there to the fall and use something like some triclopyr. But the quinclorac is in there because it kills crabgrass. So now you have a 3-way that does really well on most of your summer weeds and cool season grass. Those, the Quincept, the Triad, it's like $45 for a quart. You get it 3 ounces per 1,000 is the max rate, so you'll get 10,500 square feet out of it. So $45 to cover 10,500 square feet, but you're mostly going to spot and zone spray. Quincept and Triad, pretty decent, professionally formulated products that you can get that'll work well for you in the summer without a heat restriction. Now, if you want a real expensive option because you have massive ground ivy or violet problems, then you want to go for Sure Power. It's a New Farm product. Sure Power has 2,4-D, triclopyr, fluroxypyr, and flamaxazine. Yeah, can't pronounce those. But that will smoke the ground ivy and smoke the violets. It'll smoke the clover. Also good on nimblewill, goosegrass, and foxtail, which you're going to see a lot in the summer. But that's an expensive one because I don't think it's off patent yet. So you want to get really crazy, get some Sure Power. I think it's also probably only available in like 2.5 gallons, which also makes it expensive. Means you got to get a lot. For warm season, you can use Celsius. For some reason, I thought Celsius had an 85-degree temperature restriction, but I read the label again before this podcast, and I do not see it anywhere. I did have some burn and some zoysia spot spray and some Celsius, but I believe I sprayed a little angry and got a little heavy with it. So Celsius, now y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm believing, I've read the label twice, 2 different labels, an old one and a new one, and I don't see an 85-degree temperature restriction on Celsius. However, I will tell you, so Celsius can be fine in the summer, just spot spray. I will tell you, though, if you have centipede or St. Augustine, every weed control that just gets near it will damage it. Listen, in the summertime, you can just talk to your St. Augustine and tell it you're going to spray it, and it will get damaged. You don't even have to actually spray it. Just tell the St. Augustine, I'm going to spray weeds tomorrow, and your St. Augustine will show damage, and so will your centipede. It's just how those work. Bermuda, not so much. Zoysia kind of in between. But Celsius is fine for the summer, and you'll be all good on your weed control during the summer. But as I mentioned, I highly recommend that you spot spray.